Hey, what is going on guys? So Blender 5.2 just got released recently and it comes with some really amazing updates. So let's talk about some of the biggest ones in this video. Starting off with the biggest one, we've got a brand new cloth dynamics and hair dynamics solver based on geometry nodes. We already have a cloth simulator, but the new one is simply faster and more stable.
The original is the classic, no question about it. But the remake? Sweeter, bolder, better.
It also lets you tear cloth right out of the box and it looks so cool. And because it's built around geometry nodes, it makes it so much flexible because anyone can customize it to their needs. And all of this is possible due to the addition of the new XPBD solver node, which is the core of all the physics happening inside of geometry nodes. The possibilities are just endless and the community has been doing some really crazy stuff with it. It's an experimental feature in early development, but it's only going to get better. If you love free assets,
well, who doesn't?
Then you're gonna love this one. In the asset browser under the Essentials library, which is shipped by Blender themselves, we now have a bunch of new assets like brushes, materials, 3D models, geonodes, tools, compositor effects, and HDRIs. If you're opening this up for the first time, then you need to download these assets, which you can simply do by clicking on these assets. And if you haven't already, then you need to give online permission in the preferences. After dragging and dropping the materials, you need to click on the unpack icon to be able to use the parameters. And because all of the materials are made procedurally, they have a lot of control. The great thing is that it doesn't increase the installation size of Blender. You can simply download the assets when you want them. And all of this is possible because we now have remote asset libraries in Blender. What that means is that you can host an asset library online on a website and anyone with that link can download those assets remotely. Speaking of assets, we've got some really fun new effects in the compositor like film grain, night vision, pixel art effect, and a brand new paint filter which turns your render into a painting. And there's a lot of control, like you can switch through the different art styles like watercolor, oil painting, and digital painting. And if you're making an animation with the camera moving, then you can enable tracking and use the depth and position pass, and now the strokes will actually stick onto the surfaces. We've also got a new depth atmosphere node which uses the depth or the mist pass to add some fog to the render. This was already possible before, but with this node it makes it a lot easier, and it's also got some really nice controls like the distance of the fog, color tinting, opacity, and even thickness, which is like the anisotropy effect. Every Blender user has received the GPU out of memory error. It happens when the resources in your blend file exceed the amount of VRAM your GPU has. One of the best ways to fix this is to get a better GPU is to use textures with lower sizes like 2K. Well, now in Blender 5.2, it has become a lot easier thanks to the new texture cache feature, which creates a .tx file containing information about each texture, and it automatically optimizes the texture based on how much space it takes up on the screen. This saves up a lot of memory usage at the cost of slight render time increase. Creating vegetation in CGI can be really tricky. By default, it looks dull and plasticky. But now in the Principled BSDF, we have got a new feature called Thin Wall. Enabling it
Does nothing
until we increase the subsurface scattering. And boy oh boy, look at how good that looks. The light now passes through the leaves and makes them glow. And by the way, not many people know this, but this kind of effect was already possible in Blender using the translucent and the add shader, and I've been using this setup for like a very long time now. And I think the difference is not that big, but it is safe to say that the new thin wall feature renders a lot faster and it is more physically accurate. Also, have you ever tried adding glass to your interiors? It always makes it look very noisy and dark, right? Well, now with the thin wall feature enabled, it disables the refraction calculation and makes the light easily come through, and it renders a lot faster. In geometry nodes, using the new sample sound frequencies node, you can now finally import sound files in Blender and extract data to create audio reactive animations. You can finally bevel objects inside of geometry nodes using the mesh bevel node. There's a ton of new nodes and features in geometry nodes that I don't quite understand right now. So for more information, you can watch the Blender's official video or the release notes page on their website. So those were some of the biggest updates in Blender 5.2. Let me know which ones were your favorite and if I missed any. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll be back.